Hello again, everyone. I'm going to discuss for a very, very short while uh, the guidelines on how to present your results, then results, your discussion, conclusion, and recommendation. So we have to be guided because we are going to do this in the IMRAD format. Again, IMRAD formats means introduction, methodology, results, and discussion. You cannot hear the word conclusion or recommendation, but they're supposed to be a part of, analysis in the later part of gathering the data, no, in the discussion part and onwards. So let's do it. Okay. What is the format of presentation in results? Okay. Of course, if you would notice, the word results is in boldface or in highlighted form, of course, because this is an important part of the IMRAD, no, or the part of the article. We call the research, by the way, article, no. You might be surprised in the words of when you submit for journal or publication, and when you join international conferences, when they say article, that's already your research, no. They can say research, your study, article, manuscript. So these are the same. Let's go back. So results, no. If you would notice, there's a question here. Oh, sorry for that. There's a question here. What are the mental health adversities of women during COVID-19 pandemic? So, this is from the statements of the problem. So you don't have to be confused, no? Hindi lang I was not just able to place the frequency or the demographic profile. Only place the for example, in the gender, you will place how many women and how many men and what percentage of our 70% be, and that should also be table number one. But anyway, let's go to this format. The reason why it's not appearing here because sorry for the sound of the dog. It's not appearing here because there's a limitation for the journal that I submitted this article to in terms of the number of pages. So I'm gonna place that. That's going to consume pages and number of words. And I already reviewed it that I cannot remove or reduce some words from the other parts just to accommodate that. No. So anyway, they are already present in no, not in the instrument, but in the population and sampling. Okay, so back to the format in results. So you'll place the question. Just follow this format in italicized form. This is in 12 font, no? So you place the table this way. We don't we'll just follow this one kasi in international publication they already use this format because our usual table is just like the one with the boxes, no? Theirs commonly, like I submitted to around four journals. They have similar this way, no? So the table is basically horizontal. The lines appearing are horizontally, no? So I don't know. Maybe they think it's more sophisticated or whatever. But we're gonna do it this way, no? So I do not know the technicalities of how to do it, but you present it this way. So you have here the variable and the categories under the categories under the surveys, no? Okay. And the mean score and the remarks, no? So you're supposed to wait, I forgot to place here the description of the remarks, but you should, no, in this part here. No, not that part, but below we have to place the description of the the ranges of the remarks, no? Like for example, if 3.4 that's high, if 2.0 that's low, no? That way. I think you know that. So, what happens after the table? So you will interpret, no? In the results, you will just interpret the table, okay? So when I say interpret the table, this is in the format of journals in the international journal, no? You just interpret the table, not yet citing literature that may corroborate the interpretation, not yet, no? So just interpret it. So if you would notice, the interpretation is kind of, actually it's not really long, because in thesis or dissertation, this table can be spread out to many tables. But since this is IMRAD, we summarize them, no, as categories. In fact, if it's thesis or dissertation, for example, if you see here adversity of worries and apprehension, in thesis and dissertation, the statements under it, no. But in this case, because we don't have space already and there's limitation to the space, we just summarize it based on the category under which those statements are from, no. So but of course, if you still have spaces, you can do it, no? The ones with the statement under the category. But I think with our research, I don't think it's possible. So there. So again, the interpretation is there, and there should be no citations of literature related to the results of the interpretation. That's different kasi in thesis meron na eh. Sa interpretation pa lang. So it's just a matter of format. But in INRAD, there's none yet. Okay. So you just have to be very, very concise with the interpretation, no? This one, we'll use past tense already because I assume you're already now in the interpretation, analysis of data. So table 1 indicated that, okay. So if there are, for example, if you would notice adversity, what else? Adversity on information, confusion, and emotional adversity, they all have high remarks. So you can summarize them in a statement, no? Like for example, table 1 indicated that adversities of worries and apprehension, adversities on information, confusion, and adversities received high marks, which means that the respondents are blah blah blah, no. That's because you cannot afford to have a lot of space, no. So that's the point, no. So you can mention the mean if your space allows, no. So that's it. Then the same thing with the other categories with similar marks, like level of calmness and adversity on safety, were ranked low, no. Then what it means, okay. So when you interpret it, like for example, adversities of worries and apprehension, adversities on information confusion and emotional adversity, they receive high marks with mean score of blah 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 respectively. This means that the respondents believe that the respondents believe that they have higher levels of worries and apprehension. Then the same with confusion. They also have confusion, information confusion with regards to pandemic, and they have they have emotional I don't know, conflict or level of emotion. Their emotions are extremes, for example. It depends, no, on what statement specifically. So you interpret on the data and you tell does it mean, no? No other words. That's just it. Interpret the data, the remarks, and the mean score. Then tell us what does it mean, no? That's the reason why it's interpretation. So it goes along with the same with other parts, no? Okay, so there's number 2. What are the women's coping mechanisms? So everything here in the table, variable, these are coping, no? Coping mechanism, health complying, initiated learning as coping, etc. Under coping. So the same lang. Indicated in table 2, you can variate your way of stating it, no? Indicated in table 2, table 2.0 showed that, revealed that, what else? The findings are as follows. Show that, indicated that, revealed that, the result showed, I don't know, you can say it in many other ways for as long as it's simple, no? So the same lang. The table is the same, presentation is the same. Now, is there a significant difference? Their mental health adversities, blah, 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 the same. So the description of the table, guys, especially significant, you place uh, the degree of value, no? So as very significant at the 0.5. So the same, no? So this one, if again in thesis or in dissertation, this will be separated, no? Kasi you will know the significant and what are the not significant. In this case, we summarize only and got the significant responses with significant difference. We did not get already the ones with not significant. Anyway, they're not significant, no? So they're not gonna be, you know, colorful explanation, and the finding is nothing really that can bother us in terms of result. Okay, so simple lang sa significant difference. Table 3 points shows that there are dapat showed, no? May format kasi na present tense, but we will use past tense. Showed that there are significant differences in the responsiveness and active campaigning and self-learning as coping mechanism when the respondents were grouped according to marital status. Okay, so interpretation, what does it mean? No? Blah, 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 blah. Although both groups have high marks on both coping mechanism, the same mean, yung kanina, the same mean, the single have higher coping mechanism. Yung gano'n, interpret it. What else? So yeah, significant difference. Okay, let's go to the discussion part. What is in the discussion part? The discussion is again highlighted or in boldface. Okay, what's the you go back again, you go back to the statement of the problem. So you don't already restate the entire sentence of the question. Just say question 1, then colon, then explain, no? Hindi na siya, I am not expecting already that the mean or the figures will be here, no? But instead, you will state already what the interpretation says. For example, on mental health adversities of women during pandemic, responses indicate high marks on adversities, on worries, and apprehension. So this is just like saying, what does it mean? No? What does it mean based on sa table? Then, say it in a different way para it won't look like a redundancy. No? Redundant. There. No? It's just like saying it. You can say it in many ways. Level of calmness, eating patterns. Then, in the discussion, that's the part already wherein you will cite already corroborating literature, corroborating findings or studies from other authors, previous authors. Okay, that's the difference. Rephrasing of the interpretation, what it means, then citation of literature to corroborate the result. Whether it corroborates, whether it contrasted the findings of, it's different to the findings of, it is similar to the findings of, it's the same as the findings as mentioned by blah, blah, blah. No, there are ways of saying that. So this is exactly blah, blah, blah. Okay. So you may have citations that are contrasting or similar, no? Okay, just the same, number 2, you always have to go back with the statements of the problem so that you won't get lost in terms of sequences, in terms of answering the question. There, no? Okay, that's question number 2 here. Significant difference. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Okay, so I'm not going to discuss already question number 4 because it's on the economy aspect already. So it's not quantitative and it's not part of the statements of the problem, no? Kasi this is a quantitative, qualitative research. So no need to expound on this. But definitely the same lang yung format. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to the conclusion. Conclusion is supposed to be very short. Yeah. I gave you this piece of article naman, di ba? I sent you. So conclusion. What is conclusion? What's the difference between conclusion and recommendation? Conclusion is that uh, where you will tell already what is the benefit of this study to the society, uh, to the stakeholders, no, to the characters that are involved in the research. What is its benefit? So yun lang ang difference niya. Ang recommendation is basic. That's why conclusion are supposed to be short. You're not supposed to. This one is quite long, no? Because it's quanti-quali, you have a lot of things to say. Eh. But if it's only quanti, you only have one paragraph. Yeah, you only have one paragraph. One or two, one medium-sized paragraph. I don't know what it means, or two short paragraphs. Yeah, recommendations is also short. Usually 1 2 3 or 1 2 3 4. But I have five because it's quanti-quali. Eh. And there are four variables for this research. So recommendations is action-oriented, no? What do you want institutions or stakeholders to do? So in this case, this will be like services, gendered mental health services during COVID-19, women program manual. So you can have a title of your action. Depends on you. Women program manual, training catalog. See? So those are the things. Then you explain. Can get idea from this article. Yeah, data bank, economic task force. In IMRAD, you also have, aside from recommendation, you can use the word suggestions. That's really okay. Suggestions. Sometimes recommendations also are very short. No? Two will do. But if you think that you need to talk, then go on. Okay, for our format of references. Okay, references should be boldface there. We'll be using the APA format. So what's in the APA format? So it's hard to explain in this way, but you have the surname, then the first letter or capital letter of the first name, then the year, then period. No, you can have samples naman online, or these are samples already. Okay, for our reference. Then it's alphabetized. It's usually based on, for example, number one, based on books. Second, based on, no, not books, journals, books, websites. No? Journals. Journals, no? You can have it, journal, meaning journal, research journal. Journal, books, and websites. But for us, arrange na lang natin. So, alphabetize siya, pero for example, in the journals, if you took it from the journals online, alphabetize natin. Then, all the books, alphabetize natin. All websites, alphabetize natin. Okay. Alphabetication, tama ba yun? To alphabetize the references, it should be based on the first name of the surname, no? Yeah. Okay, that ends our discussion. Thank you very much for listening. And if you have questions, just message in our class group chat or message me. So again, this is an advanced lesson for our presentation format for results, discussion, conclusion, recommendation, and references. So there. So I think within a week, you're going to complete all your parts, no? So do is just curate or just sanitize what are the things that needs to be corrected. So you're doing very, very good, guys. So thank you very much for listening.